So a lot of people think that slavery was abolished a long time ago, and now that we live in the land of the free and everything's all good. But in fact, the truth is the exact opposite. Slavery is bigger than ever now, because debt is the modern day form of slavery. And so what happened was that the controllers of this system, they figured out. They said, you know what? Instead of just keeping just a small demographic of people as their slave, why not make everybody our slave? And why not set it up so that they'll be happy to be our slave, because we'll manipulate them, utilizing their own greed and their lust for more, and never being satisfied. And so we'll have them happily put the shackles on themselves and work themselves to the bone without ever even realizing that they're handcuffed to a system that is very hard to get out of. And that system is debt. Debt is the modern day form of slavery, and that's why one of the best things that you can do to get yourself free from bondage of this system that we've been born into is to eliminate all of your debt. I'm talking credit cards, car loans, mortgage. Get rid of all debt. Break the shackles. And some of you might be like, what are you talking about? Being a slave. I ain't no slave. Well, that's not true. You were sold off to slavery the moment that you were born. You were given your social security number or an employee identification number, and born into whichever corporation, country that you were born into. The United States of America Corporation, China, whichever corporation that it was, and you are basically just you are human livestock. You are livestock. And I know that can be hard to take in, and maybe some of you guys are tickled by this, but the truth isn't popular. But you can never really become free in life if you go through life ignorant and turning a blind eye to the truth. And in fact, I think that's one of the biggest problems today, is that so many people just choose to be ignorant, living by the saying, ignorance is bliss, and just pretending that things aren't going on, like an ostrich with its head in the sand. But regardless, even with ostrich with its head in the sand, it still doesn't make it any less of a doesn't give it any more security, being any more safe. Just putting its head in its sand. And that's the same thing what it is when you're ignorant. And knowledge, wisdom, that is the key to setting yourself free. Because then you can, as you start to, and it's not just, the problem is it's not just knowledge, it's learning the right knowledge. It's learning, you can learn and study all day long, but if you're learning misinformation, wrong information, then it's really not doing any good. But how you want to begin, there's a lot of things you got to do to get yourself free from the matrix, but one of the key elements is to get yourself free from this bondage of debt. Work on paying off the smallest to biggest debts first, regardless of what financial sense that may make. But you gotta understand your biggest enemy is your brain, your mind, and so you gotta set it up so that, like a snowball, you're gonna accumulate these small wins to build on the momentum. And that's why I say pay off your smallest debts first in order to go into the largest. Pay off your smallest credit card debts, then the next biggest, then the next biggest, then pay off your automobile loans, and then when all those are paid off, then they take off all of your money and use it to pay off your house and get it a debt. And I promise you, once you get out of debt, you're gonna sleep so much better at night. I know what it's like to be over 6 figures in debt, and I know what it's like to be considering bankruptcy. I was sitting in the office of a bankruptcy attorney a couple years ago, and I can tell you it feels so much better being out of debt. I have no debt now, and I don't plan on ever getting back into it. I don't own a house, but I'm renting, and I have zero debt. I have everything paid off, or I have a lot of money in the bank, and I sleep good at night. And what's the point of buying a house, ending up in a couple $100,000 in debt just to keep up with the Joneses and impress my neighbors and other people in my life that I don't even like. So I would rather save my money, keep stacking my money, if and when I decide to buy a house, I'll either buy it cash or I'll just buy something that's within my means, like a tiny home, an RV, van life, whatever. Something simple that's within my means that I can pay off cash and that I don't have to fall into the trap of becoming a slave to the system of debt. So guys, pay off your debts, get out of debt. That way you can break free from this bondage of slavery and continue on your journey of exiting the matrix and achieving freedom, brother. All right, have a great day. See ya.